For a long time, we've been complaining about the decline of the education system in America. Nobody's ever really done anything about it. But what we needed was a focus. Now, the Des Moines School Board has volunteered to be the poster child for incompetent education. And believe me, this is nationwide. Remember, this guy already served in a couple of different states before he ever got to Des Moines. The illegal immigrant. My gosh, this is crazy. But this is egg on the face of everybody in Des Moines. It's a national embarrassment. The funny thing is, it's not over. It's still getting worse. I grew up in this school district. I know what I'm talking about. I moved out of that district because I refused to put my kids in it. I wouldn't put them in any big city district. Not anymore. Because they've all been taken over by the crazy left. You get out in the rural areas, it's not as bad. There's still too much of it. However, when I was researching for this and putting the show notes together for this episode, I uncovered some stuff that is mind-boggling, and you are not going to believe where it goes. I'm working on this. I hope to get the other episode out later today. But I wanted to get this out now because of one thing. Media has never been caught up on this story. As soon as it came out, I did an episode on it right away. I've got connections up there still, and I know the situation already. So I went ahead and I did an episode. Media is still not reporting everything I had in my first episode right after this all began. Now they come out saying, well, it's been discovered that he didn't really have his degrees. I said that right away. There's a lot more in that first episode that still hasn't been uncovered or exposed in major media of any kind. I've watched all the YouTubers. Nobody's got it all yet. But what I have found, what I have got right here in this episode is going to blow your frigging mind. And when you find out what I've got coming in the next one, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be stunned. You're going to say, damn, there it is. We always knew something, and there it is, because I bring the receipts, and I've got all the information, and that's what I'm laying out. However, in this one right here, you're just not going to believe this. This is so crazy. After everything they've gone through, this incompetent school board chairwoman, she's the one that was the chief of staff for Michelle Obama. Isn't it funny that she just slithered her way into the education system? Well, on her LinkedIn profile, it doesn't even mention the school board that she's the chair of. All it talks about is the Horizon Group company that she runs. Somehow she's running the company full-time while she works at the school board and while she exercises her ties with the UN and some other stuff that you were just not going to believe. However, this woman is running for the U.S. Senate. Of all things, she demonstrates her incompetence, and then she comes out with a lot of damage control and a myriad of excuses while she's running for the U.S. Senate. What she still doesn't realize is her Senate chances, her hopes and dreams, her aspirations, they were over the minute that illegal fled the traffic stop and brought the whole house of cards tumbling down. Her career in politics went out the door when he hit the gas pedal. And that was before we found out that he had a loaded gun with him in a school-owned vehicle. The guy's making $300,000 a year, and they gave him a school-owned vehicle, and he's not even supposed to be in the country. So they're doing their damage control. But in the middle of all this, I tell you, we've all heard the saying, my gosh, that takes brass balls. Would you believe in the middle of all of this controversy, this coming Monday, October 6th, they have a meeting scheduled with the public to discuss organization and action plans because on the November ballot, they're asking Des Moines taxpayers for $265 million in bond money that will be paid back by property taxpayers. $265 million additional dollars. This has nothing to do with the current operating budget. They want a $265 million additional gift to be given to them, and they think taxpayers are going to go for this, while the school board is run by the incompetent woman that hired, and it's not just her. I mean, everybody at that level in the state did it. Ultimately, all problems are management problems. I don't care what business you're in. All problems are management problems. She was the manager. She was the big dog. She was the boss. She's supposed to be so expertly qualified, and this guy operated. I said from the start, they knew all along the guy wasn't right. They knew it. It was hidden. It was buried in the other departments. They knew they had professional headhunters searching for this guy. This was no secret who he was. They were trying to sneak him through with the exact same fashion they snuck Obama in. Except this time they didn't come up with a Hawaiian birth certificate. That's the only difference. When he was quizzed about his place of birth, an interviewer once asked him, "Where were you born?" And he says, first of all, he says, both of my parents were Guyana residents. They're so happy to be here in America, and it's been a really great thing. Experience life in America. Then he rambled off, and he would not answer the question where he was born. They knew all along. Come on. They want us to think they're intelligent, and then they try to excuse doing dumb things. They weren't stupid about it. They were crooked. Yes, it's stupid to be crooked, but look, they were getting away with it. This guy got away with it for 21 years. He was making $300,000. He was running in and out of the state capitol building, which is dominated by the GOP. They've got both houses of the legislature. They've got the governorship. The office this guy worked out of was in the same downtown, not quite within view of the Capitol building, but within easy reach. A good jogger could make it. Okay. I mean, they were all living and working together, and everybody missed it. This Des Moines School Board knew. Now they want $265 million. They want to be trusted with that when they can't even run a school board. This is a brand new channel, but I've been at this a very long time. It just moved everything from every format into this. This is all focusing on now. All the work now is in this channel. We're new. I hope you like. I hope you subscribe. This is an important topic. I hope you'll share it, because from the very beginning, I promise we will always report on what they don't say. We find the stories, we find the facts, we find the truth that nobody is talking about and the media is always missing. Please share. I hope we earned a couple of your comments, and please subscribe, because there's a lot more coming on this and a lot of other topics. Now they want to run $265 million, and they've got it in. They've already got it all laid out, what they're going to spend it on. And a lot of it is social justice, social engineering, neighborhood stuff, outreach. Okay, here's their poster. This is the advertising for the meeting that they're going to have Monday in Des Moines. Now, if you look at this closely at the top, it says Amos, a mid-Iowa organizing strategy. Amos. Okay, the Civil Academy. What the hell does that mean? What is that? It makes it sound like there's some building somewhere that's a Civil Academy. No, it's a one-night meeting. Reimagining education with Des Moines Public Schools. Reimagining? You mean like, gee, just think, what if we were competent? What if we actually educated kids? What if grocery stores weren't afraid to hire our graduates because too many of them can't even count back the change? Yes, that is a true story that I've heard. They can't even count back the change. The only good students coming out of the Des Moines public school system are the ones with parents that make sure that they educate their kids along the side of it. But they say get informed, get engaged, take action. That's what the Democrats do. I've talked about it many times. That's what they do with all these rallies and everything. Every function that they've got, they're always recruiting. They're always bringing in activists. That's all this is about. but it's through the school system. Now, where are they having this? Look at the bottom. The Community of Christ Church. So the Democrats that hate having any kind of Christian religion involved with anything in the system, whether it be politics or education, they're having their meeting at a church. Now, with all of the venues in Des Moines, and there's a myriad of them, countless, there's all kinds of places they could have done this. They could have done it in a school. No, they went to this church. Well, there's going to be more about this church in the upcoming episode because it's tied into some stuff that you're just not going to believe. It makes sense why the Democrats went there because this just stinks to high heaven. But hear directly from the Des Moines Public School Associate Superintendent Matt Smith about the district's new Reimagining Education Plan. Okay, Matt Smith, he's the keynote speaker at this that's going to explain this program. Well, guess who was supposed to be the speaker? This meeting was already set up. They had to redo this sheet because Ian Roberts, the man with the plan and a gun and a getaway plan, he's the one that was supposed to be given this. He was supposed to deliver it. As the superintendent of Des Moines Public Schools, he was scheduled to deliver this program, this presentation, an hour and a half this coming Monday, 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. It was his. They had to change it and write in the name of his assistant, who is now the interim superintendent of Des Moines Schools. They still call him the associate superintendent. It's like, yeah, that's the guy we had to fall back on when the other one got popped by the feds. You know, the G-Man got him. So this guy had to do a crash course and get all the notes and everything. But it's the district's new Reimagining Education Plan and the proposed $265 million bond. Why they're important and what's at stake for our schools. Okay, our schools again. Learn how this plan will impact schools, students, families, and neighborhoods. What? Families and neighborhoods? When did that fall under their purview? When did the school system become charged with the responsibility of shaping and reimagining families and neighborhoods? They have had this mindset for so long, they don't realize how wrong it is. How about the 3 R's? If you want to reimagine school, imagine if you guys graduated competent students that all of them could read at a senior level, that they were all prepared for life as productive, educated, informed citizens. Share your experiences, questions, and feedback. What is this? This is Kumbaya. They're inviting you. This is what they do. One of the best things about looking for activists, one of the tricks, you look for the people that don't belong anywhere. You look at the people that have no social structure, no life of their own. You look at the dweebs, the geeks, the weirdos that have nothing to do. You welcome them in. Share your experiences, questions, and feedback. Yes, they're going to welcome you into the fold. They want you. You matter. You belong with us. You matter. Work with community leaders to shape the next steps. Next steps, let's see, reimagining families and neighborhoods. Now, you notice what's missing here? Your voice matters. Be part of the future of public education in Des Moines. Nothing about this $265 million talks about turning out smarter students. It doesn't say anything about raising the quality of education. It doesn't say anything about addressing the failures of the education system or lifting the quality. When they talk about equality in education, they do this by bringing down the top. They never bring up the bottom because that would require actual skill. But they've got agendas that don't want the top elevated. They don't want everyone at the top. They don't want people thinking for themselves. We all know this. So Monday, October 6th, they're begging for money. They want taxpayers to give them $265 million. And this is extremely DEI. Even the church that they're meeting at, this Community of Christ Church, DEI. Of course, they don't list everything anymore. What they talk about is they're inclusive for all members of society. We know what this means. They talk about conservatives having dog whistles and code talk. This is what it is. It's a dog whistle and a code talk. It's for the underserved community. You know, the immigrant gang members, the gay, lesbian, and LGBTQRSTLNE plus community, whatever it is. My gosh, that's all they're talking about. There's nothing about education with $265 million to these people. Social justice, that's coming out in the next episode that I'm going to start on quick. But you talk about being tone deaf, reading the room, okay? These people are the laughing stock of the country and they're begging for more money. They're practically demanding it. I've heard their talks about it. The man with the getaway plan. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, they had him in a county lockup in a remote location in Iowa, and the feds went in and took him away from the state. He's no longer under any state charges. They can still press him, but he's in federal custody now because they didn't want this guy getting away with it and getting released by the state. You never know. It could happen. The feds went ahead and locked the guy up in a federal pokey, and they've got federal gun charges against him. When they searched his house, they found 3 more loaded guns. The guy's an illegal immigrant. He's not supposed to have any guns. So, I'd like to know what else they found when they raided his house, but we'll get to that. Tell me what you think in the comments. What would you like to see them do with the $265 million of bonus taxpayer money they want for their DEI programs? Doesn't that make you feel good? How would you like to see the money spent? Maybe you don't think they should get it. Stay tuned, folks, because sometime probably late today, I'm going to have the other episode out that goes even deeper into all of this. This Amos, a mid-Iowa organizing strategy, that makes it sound nice and local, does it? Well, you are not going to believe where this goes. I had to verify it for myself and cross-check, and I just sat there and stared at it. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. This is it. You're not going to believe what I found. Send us your comments. Respond to all replies. I'd like to hear your input and what you think. Because, my friend, we have got to get this right. We have got to get this right. And if we do, then maybe God will continue to bless this great country of ours. Thanks for listening.